What's up guys, User72 here back with another Pokemon Guides video. So today in this video I'm going to be talking about stadiums. Stadiums are a card where there's only one in play at a time, so you and your opponent kind of try to have to compete to put down your own personal stadium that helps you out, of course. But I'm going to go over in detail all the best ones, all the ones that are most used. So let's first start off with the standard stadiums. Okay, so first starting off with all the standard stadiums, definitely a lot more expanded, but first we got KXWell, probably the most famous stadium out there. It's pretty much what's called the stadium killer, which means that when you play this, it gets rid of a stadium, and then when your opponent plays another stadium to try to get rid of this, then both stadiums are discarded. So this basically kills two stadiums. It can kill two stadiums at once. So if you're playing a deck that doesn't really have any stadium that is specific to your type or something, then definitely you gotta go with the KXWell. At least one in every deck, pretty much. Dark City though, basic darkness Pokemon in play have no retreat cost, so this is good for stuff like Eternus. Eternus, basically that's it. I mean, just Eternus. Giant Hearth though, this is another really good stadium. So this is good for Send and Scourge, any fire deck really that plays Welder, of course, too. Works perfectly well with Welder. But how this works is that you discard a card and then you search for 2 fire energies and then put them in your hand, and that's it. So you basically just get 2 free energies. Glimwood Tangle, this is good for coin flip games where you just want to roll a favorable heads or something like that. It's used in Dreadnought, a few other decks that depend on coin flips too, maybe like Whimsicott or something. But Power Plant, this is kind of like Silent Lab, which I'll be talking about, of course, in Expanded. But Pokemon GX and EX in play have no abilities, but this does not work against Vs, so it's only Pokemon GX. And if you're playing in Standard, then it's only Pokemon GX, because no EXs are in Standard, of course. But Training Core, this is kind of just a really basic stadium. I mean, just put energy from the discard into your hand, so decent option if you're just trying to revive some energy out of your discard pile. Then we got Viridian Forest. This is kind of like the complete opposite of that. You discard a card and then search your deck for basic energy, so it's basically the complete opposite of that one. Then we got Wondrous Labyrinth. So this is actually a Prism Star stadium, so you can only have one of these, but this is good for fairy decks, of course, because non-fairy type Pokemon cost 1 more energy. So this is also good for, I see it being played with Send and Scourge too, because Send and Scourge just has an insane amount of fire energy, which they don't really need colors. So this is used for, of course, fairy decks, but also decks that play just a lot of energy. So that's it with the standard stadiums. Let's move on to expanded. Okay, one more stadium that I forgot about in standard which is Black Market, another Prism Star. But whenever this is used in only dark decks, so whenever one of your dark Pokemon that has any darkness energy attached to is knocked out, then that player takes 1 fewer prize card. So if you're playing Eternus and they knock out your Eternus VMAX, and they don't have like any other stadiums to counteract this, then they're only taking 2 prize cards. So definitely, if you're playing a darkness deck, you definitely want to have one of these in your deck. Okay, now on to all the expanded stadiums. Definitely a lot more than standard, but we're going to first start off with this guy. Don't even want to take the time saying that name, but each basic grass and lightning Pokemon take 30 less damage from opponent's deck, so decent option if you're playing one of these. A lot of these stadiums are pretty type dependent, so Brooklet Hill, another one where you can search your deck for a basic water or fighting Pokemon, and it puts on their bench each turn. So Dimension Valley, this used to be a really played card, but it was used for mostly Night March, but I use it in a Mew box. But each Psychic Pokemon's attack costs 1 colorless energy less. So Frozen City, this is good for stuff like Sableye. This can be either good for you or bad for your opponent. So it's basically whenever you attach an energy to one of your Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on it. This affects both you and your opponent, so it can be helpful, or it can kind of suck. But we got Heat Factory. This is pretty good. You may discard a fire energy from your hand and then draw 3 cards. So just play stuff like Blacelfian, any other really fire deck. combination with stuff like Giant Hearth maybe, because you can only play one of these again in your deck. So Life Force, another Prism Star Stadium, but each player's turn you may heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions from a grass type Pokemon. So this could be really good. Stuff like Venusaur, Tag Team, other stuff. Mount Coronet, good with steel decks. You can put 2 steel energy from cards from discard pile into your hands. This is used in stuff like Durant. I don't see it being played often, but it's definitely good for steel decks. Parallel City, this is kind of an interesting card. I don't know why they have this upside down thing going on, but this side basically says that these types are reduced by 20, and then this side is like your opponent cannot have more than 3 Pokemon on the bench. So 3 Pokemon on the bench is not a lot. So this you definitely want your opponent facing this side for sure. But I think any damage done by attacks. Yeah, so you're reducing yourself by 20 damage though, which kind of sucks. But Rush Seas, from water and lightning Pokemon, you may heal 30 damage each turn. So pretty good with these types. We got Scorch Earth, so these were kind of in the same set. Once during a player's turn, this is kind of like Heat Factory, but it's only 2, but it is fighting too. So we got Shrine of Memory, so this is good for pretty much decks that want to use a previous evolution attack but need the HP of their evolution Pokemon. So this is definitely good for stuff like that. Shrine of Punishment, so between turns you may put or not may, it puts 1 damage counter on each Pokemon GX and EX. So this is definitely used just to do a lot of damage. If your opponent is playing a lot of GX, EXs aren't really played anymore. I mean they are, but I mean Shaman was the most played EX, but still a decent option. Then we got Silent Lab, so probably the most infamous stadium in this game. Each basic Pokemon in play and player's hand discard has no abilities, so this is played in stuff like Honchkrow, Alternate Crowza. Pretty annoying card to play against if you're playing abilities on a basic Pokemon. Skyfield, another pretty used card. Each player can have 8 Pokemon on their bench, so a big upgrade from 5 Pokemon. So yeah, I mean if your player or if your opponent discards this card, then you have to discard some of the Pokemon on your bench. So that kind of sucks. But this is used for stuff like Shaman. It was used all the way back in the day when Mega Rayquaza Shaman was being played. They're all from the same set, Roaring Skies. But I mean this is used in stuff like Phalanx and Snorlax today. But we got Thunder Mountain, so really good card for Pikarom decks. The attacks of lightning Pokemon cost 1 lightning less, so you could literally do a Pikarom attack on your first turn with this. We got Tropical Beach, so definitely a pretty rare card. Not many people have this. The price of this is like 1,000 packs or something like that. I don't even know, dude. I don't have one myself, but once during each player's turn, that player may draw cards until he has 7 cards in his hand. So. And then that player, the player's turn ends. So this can work for, I can't even talk. Be beneficial for your opponent or yourself. I've only seen one. I've only played against one of these honestly in a legacy battle, but definitely really rare. You won't really see these often. We got Ultra Space, so this is good for when you're playing with Ultra Beast, but you may search your deck for an Ultra Beast card per turn and then put in your hand. So be decent if you're playing Ultra Beast, really like Blacephalon, Guzzlord, stuff like that. Last Stadium for Bank City Gym. This is good for just putting more damage counters on poison Pokemon between turns. So if you had the 2 with Seviper and play stuff like Muck and Alolan Muck, you can definitely add up a lot of damage per turn. So that's going to wrap up all the expanded stadiums. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the most important stadiums and the most used stadiums. Definitely stadiums are a pretty important card. Like I said, it's a battle between putting yours and your opponent placing theirs. So that's why KX Wall can be pretty deadly sometimes. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. That's it guys. Alright, peace out.